हेलो दोस्तों, आज की इस वीडियो में मैं आपके लिए एक नया टॉपिक लेकर आया हूँ जिससे आपका एक टॉपिक अर्थ एज अ प्लैनेट पूरा क्लियर हो जाएगा। अगर आपको हमारा वीडियो पसंद आए तो वीडियो को लाइक, शेयर और सब्सक्राइब करना ना भूलें और बेल आइकन को हिट करें जिससे आपको हमारे नए नए वीडियोस की नोटिफिकेशंस मिलती रहे। तो चलिए दोस्तों शुरू करते हैं। तो हमारा आज का टॉपिक है अर्थ एज अ प्लैनेट। In the earlier days, it was believed that Earth was in the center of the universe and all heavenly bodies of the universe were moving around it. Earth is the only planet which supports life from the space. Earth looks blue because 70% of its total area is covered by water. Hence, it is also called the watery planet. The Earth is not a perfect sphere, it bulges slightly at the center and flattened at the poles. The proof that Earth is in spherical shape. First, the Bedford Level Experiment. An experiment was carried out in Bedford Level Canal in England. Three poles of equal length were fixed at intervals of 5 km. It was ensured that the poles had the same height above the water level in the canal. When the poles were viewed from the end of the canal, the middle pole looked slightly higher. It could not have happened if the earth was flat surface. A similar experiment was repeated at different places with the same result. This experiment demonstrated that the surface of the earth was curved. Second proof that the earth is spherical in shape. While standing at the seashore watching an approaching ship, we first can see only its mast. Then as it comes closer, we finally see the desk in the middle, then its funnel, and finally hull comes out into full view. This can happen only when the earth's surface is curved. If the earth was flat, an entire ship would have been visible at once. Third proof that the earth is spherical in shape, that is lunar eclipse. The shadow of the earth on the surface of the moon is clearly visible from the earth during lunar eclipse. It appears as an arc of the circle. Since the earth is bigger than the moon, it rarely originates in the same position as the moon, but the shadow is always circular. Fourth point that the earth is spherical in shape. Sunrise and sunset. The sun rises from the east and set in the west. Sunrise and sunset occurs at different times at different places. This is because the earth rotates from west to east and therefore peoples in the east can see the sun earlier than those in the west. Had the earth been flat, the sunrise and sunset would have occurred at the same time over all the world. Fifth proof that the earth is spherical in shape is circumnavigation by Ferdinand Magellan. Magellan's ship Victoria completed a round of the world voyage in 1522. His ship returned to the same place from where he had started. It proved beyond doubt that the earth's surface is round. Ferdinand Magellan had started his journey from the Spain. Now our next topic is Earth's shape. The Earth is said to be spherical in shape, but it is not a perfect sphere. Its diameter varies at equator and poles. Its diameter at equator is 12,756 km, while its polar diameter is 12,714 km. This difference in diameter is due to the centrifugal force of Earth's rotation at a great speed, which forms a bulge at equator and compression at poles. Thus, the Earth is said to be an oblate spheroid. The shape of the Earth is also described as a geoid, which means Earth shaped. Now, our next topic is Earth as a home of humankind. Our Earth is the only planet that supports life. Unlike other planets, it is covered with green vegetation, enormous blue-green oceans containing over a million of islands, a large number of streams and rivers, huge land masses called continents with mountains, ice caps, and desert. Earth has a certain features that makes it habitable and thus a unique planet. The features are distance from the sun, temperature of the earth, atmosphere, water, solid crust known as lithosphere, biosphere, and life-giving cycles such as nutrition cycle, carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, and oxygen cycle. Now we will discuss them in detail. Distance from the sun. The earth is at optimum distance from the sun, hence it is neither too hot nor too cold. The distance between the earth and sun makes life possible on the earth. If it was closer to the sun, any life present would get burnt from too much heat of the sun. If it was farther from the sun, life would freeze because of lack of heat. Now second topic is temperature. The earth is the third planet from the sun It has average temperature of 17 degrees Celsius, which is suitable for life to exist. If the average temperature of Earth's surface changes by only few degrees Celsius, many species would persist due to extreme heat or cold. The other two terrestrial planets, Mercury and Venus, are very hot with a maximum temperature of more than 400 degrees Celsius. In the remaining planet in solar system are very cold with a surface temperature below 0 degrees Celsius. Venus is the second planet from the sun, but it is hotter than Mercury. This is because the atmosphere around Venus is mainly composed of carbon dioxide. The carbon dioxide produces greenhouse effect on the surface of the Venus. Thus temperature of its surface remains very high. The Earth's atmosphere contains very small quantities of carbon dioxide. Now our third topic is atmosphere. Atmosphere is a layer of the air around the Earth. It's a mixture of gases like nitrogen 78%, oxygen 21%, carbon dioxide, helium and argon less than 1%. The atmosphere receives heat from the sun by solar radiation and loses heat by earth radiation. In this way, a balance is maintained. Ozone layer present in the Earth's atmosphere absorbs the harmful ultraviolet rays of the sun. The atmosphere also prevents loss of heat from the Earth's surface and helps to keep the Earth warm. Now our fourth topic is water. Earth is a watery planet with 70% of the Earth's surface being covered by water. Distribution of water is responsible for the moderating climate and surface condition of Earth. The self-regulating and the self-sustaining structural and functional unit of the biosphere is called ecosystem. This depends upon the sun's energy. A pond, a lake, a desert, grassland, a meadow, forest are the common examples of ecosystem. There is an exchange of material and energy with the ecosystem as well as between adjoining ecosystem. They are all interconnected and hence interrelated. The vast network and interconnected ecosystem constitutes the biosphere. Thus, biosphere that a part of Earth's terrestrial system, including air, land, and water, in which life develops and where life processes is turned get transformed. It is a life zone of Earth. Water from the sea, rivers, and lake evaporates into the atmosphere where it condenses and falls back as precipitation. Most of the water on the land flows back to the oceans. Thus, water moves in a continuous cycle. There is a proper balance between evaporation, condensation, and precipitation, without which life would not be possible. Our fifth topic is solid crust or lithosphere. Earth has a solid crust due to the weathering of rocks. The surface of the earth has been formed which provides soil layer essential for supporting plant life. Soil also provides various nutrition necessary for growth of plant, which is turn support all forms of animal life directly or indirectly. Our sixth topic is biosphere. Biosphere is a narrow limb or contact and interaction between the atmosphere, lithosphere and hydrosphere. Biosphere is a thin layer of approximately 15 km from the deepest ocean trench to the highest mountain peak. At the ground level, it extends to the depth of just 3 meters. In ocean water about 200 meter deep, where the marine and freshwater life is found. Within the biosphere, life is found chiefly in two forms. Now, our seventh topic is life-giving cycles. Various life-giving cycles operates in nature, balancing the factor necessary for life. There are mainly four life-giving cycles: nutrition cycle, carbon cycle, nitrogen cycle, and oxygen cycle. First, we will learn about nutrition cycle. The nutrition cycle represents a relationship between living and non-living things in our environment. It shows the interdependence of all living things on the earth. It operates through the food chain and other processes like photosynthesis, transpiration, respiration, etc. The living things are divided into producers, consumers, and decomposers. Plants are producers of food through a process of photosynthesis. Energy has its origin from here. Then there are categories of consumers, herbivorous and carnivorous, who lives on the producers. At the top of all is man, who can modify his own environment and create changes at the bottom or in middle level of the food chain. All living being undergoes decomposition by the action of saprotrophs and decomposers. Now next cycle is carbon cycle. Carbon is a basic raw material of all life. All living things contain carbon. Atmospheric carbon dioxide is used by plants in presence of sunlight and chlorophyll to make their own food by the process of photosynthesis. During this process, CO2 is fixed as a starch by the plants. From the plants, carbon moves along the food chain through consumers at different levels. After the death of the animal and plants, the carbon present in their bodies is decomposed and absorbed as food by saprotrophic bacteria and fungi. When plants die and get buried in the soil, they undergo slow degradation and compaction. This results in the formation of fossil fuels containing a huge amount of carbon. Now our next cycle is nitrogen cycle. Atmosphere is the largest reservoir of free nitrogen. Plants take nitrogen in form of nitrates from the soil and it moves through the food chain to animals. Nitrogen is returned to the soil through manure, excreta and earthly remains of plants and animals and microorganisms. Now our next cycle is oxygen cycle. Living things take oxygen from the atmosphere. This is used to release energy from the food they eat. Oxygen is also used together with carbon, hydrogen and nitrogen to build new molecules in their bodies. Oxygen is released back into atmosphere by green plants during photosynthesis and by plants and animals as a part of carbon dioxide. These cycles are the nature's mechanism to maintain balance in the ecosystem. Thank you.